プサイドで君と年中無休の恋をしたい君とまだまだ会ってるよ今夜も離れられないディスティニーさ一度だけなら別にいいじゃないわならばフェアそうさ水着の girl プールサイド飛び込んだら水面から消えてく蜃気楼さ蜃気楼プールサイドで君と年中無休の恋よで君と年中無休の恋をしたい秘密の花その連れてってあげるよ Kiss me なんてすぐ言わないさ一度だけでもエスコートするじゃない尊敬してるから水着の girl プールサイド飛び込んだら水面から消えてく蜃気楼さ蜃気楼プールサイドで君と年中無休の恋よプールサイドで君と年中無休の恋をしたいプールサイドで君と年中無休の恋はい、ここはさよの確立前のアイデンティティキラキラ光る眼光がモンスターと切り捨てただけは5センチ私の気持ちは少々センチメンタル切ないな先輩気づいて乗ってスリーどうしてるベイビー祈るってことにスーサイド浮かんでしまうくらいの苦しいな先輩気づいて乗ってスリー通信今週ラーにトライやり方誰も教えてくれないもう新名詞鬱陶しい揺れるぶれる恋の証明断念人の噂も75日付き合ってたあのカップルと二極体愛は幻想確立前のアイデンティティ
I hope that doesn't happen while we're streaming.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Cocktail Hour, hosted by members only. I have that wrong. Welcome to Cocktail Hour, hosted
going
by
great.
Team Poolside. Welcome to the road to members only, coming up this Saturday, teampoolside.de or twitch.tv/teampoolside.de. I'm venoSci. It's Cocktail Hour. I'm about to pass it over to your lovely host, Tomo, aka DJ K-Pop Papi, who is going to be interviewing some really incredible VJs and DJs tonight, who you can all catch this Saturday, members only, teampoolside.de. I'm going to throw it over right now. Let's get some of these in the chat for your host, DJ K-Pop Papi.
Yes, that's right. I am your host, DJ K-Pop Papi. Tonight, we will be joined by a handful of special guests that will be joining us this Saturday evening. Going great. This Saturday evening, January 30th, on teampoolside.de for members only. My first guest tonight is the one, the only, Nyeron. Let's bring them in. Welcome back. Welcome back, and welcome to the first ever Team Poolside Cocktail Hour. I am your host. You may know me as Tomo Aries. You may also know me as resident DJ for Team Poolside, DJ K-Pop Papi. I am joined with one of the many talented artists joining us at Team Poolside members only this Saturday, January 30th at, might have to fact check me, I think 9 p.m. EST? Probably. You're gonna have to correct me on that. So, why don't you tell me about yourself? Who are you? And what's your sign, most importantly?
Yo, what up? My name's Nyeron. I'm a visual artist, producer. I stream on Twitch as well. My sign is Pisces.
You're Pisces, all right. I like that energy. So tell me a little bit about what exactly it is that you do and what you're going to be bringing to Team Poolside this weekend on January 30th.
So, my style is a mix of like various Python effects routed through visual mixers and signal processing. That's a big part of like just production in general for me. I do really enjoy like analog signal processing.
I was going to say, it kind of
and,
looks like you're
signal
analog
change.
right now.
Yeah, I am. It's very, very jank, quick and dirty bootleg setup here.
I like it, though. It's a total vibe. So,
Thank you. And oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, by all means, you go ahead.
For this upcoming set, I'm experimenting more with like post-production and editing as well. So that's just another aspect I want to introduce into the visuals as well.
What do you use to edit?
What was that?
What do you use to edit?
Oh, Sony Vegas.
Ooh,
Don't
love
at
it.
me.
No, listen, I've worked with Vegas. I've worked with Premiere. I would take Vegas over like Premiere or Avid any day.
I think about learning Premiere a lot just because Vegas is so damn unstable. But I
got some news
don't
about
really-
Adobe.
Oh, not much better, eh?
Adobe's kind of notorious for a lot of crashes.
One of my favorite things to do in Vegas is to like reduce quality by reducing the amount of like CPU. So like it leads to a lot of interesting glitches that you don't really that are very unpredictable and vary by like playback.
I've
So,
never thought of that as a process before.
It's really fun. It's super dirty though. It's like I don't use Vegas or editing in any sort of precise way.
Mhm. That's really cool. No, that reminds me of the sort of like music production style of like reducing the sample rate. That's why like
Right,
you listen to like
right.
Drake and like the old Weekend stuff. That's why all that sounds so like watery. It's because they reduced the sample rate from like 48K down to like 8.
96 kilobytes per
Oh my
second.
god, yeah. Borderline chiptune at that point.
Right, right.
So I
Spam
guess
video.
on that topic, what's your favorite effect or like technique to do while DJing? Like, what do you do? What do you do way too much of?
Visual feedback stabs. So like just kind of rocking this fader to introduce more of just like the feedback loop that I have going on in this visual mixer.
Is that what's
That
going
I
on in the
overuse.
corner?
Yeah, that's like all the trails that you see are, and just kind of the motion of just the webcam video.
That's
That's
so
all
wild.
just the video repeating over time.
That's so wild. So that's how all that's going on. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use any like any special gear, like any specific? You said you do a little bit of analog. Any like specific hardware you really love? Like you can see behind me, I got my Taylor acoustic there. I
Oh,
love that
nice,
thing.
nice.
Like, do you have anything like that you just like cherish using?
Yeah, for visuals, it's the Edirol V4. Um, there's a really talented visual device maker named Cat Full of Ghosts Electronics. I'm looking at some of his pieces. Um, Makes really interesting stuff for this kind of like composite video fidelity, visual editing.
What's the price
So,
range on stuff like that?
for the more homegrown stuff or DIY kits,
Hmm?
can be very affordable, like $100 or so.
That's not
Um,
bad.
V4s are going up though. They're like, I got this for around like 200, and they're going up to over 300 again,
No,
which
what
is weird because there's a ton of them.
what causes like a price hike like that? Is it because like the parts for repair are like getting out of like production and things like that, or some other reason?
Possibly. Roland is really terrible about
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
believe me.
Edirol is a subsidiary, like the Japanese.
I
I believe
see.
it's the Japanese subsidiary of Roland. Um,
Okay.
but they're awful about keeping parts. Like I tried ordering rack ears for my interface, and they just don't make them.
Oh, 100%. Well, that's why like the old like Roland like 808, 707, 909 machines, even like the 303 bass sequencers, like those are so expensive to get an original one because like the parts to
Right.
repair them just don't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's
Um,
impossible.
yeah, but
Well, not
I love
impossible,
stuff like
but
that. I mean, it's you get specific qualities, visually
right.
or musically with older hardware that you just can't necessarily get on digital. And that's not to knock digital or anything either, because they're unique things. It's like coffee versus tea, you
Right, right.
know?
Absolutely. And like the certain limitations of hardware constraints can lead to a lot of like inventive ideas. Like for music, I use like the Octatrack and the 404, and like they have very limited polyphony. There's strict amount of tracks, strict amount of wave files that can be played at any time. So like it's the same thing with this. I only have two inputs that I can pull at any time. So like creating interesting blends is really dependent on what I'm sourcing, you know?
Yeah. No, you mentioned the 404. I've never actually, maybe I've never looked it up before, but I've never heard of that. I always thought it kind of went just from like 303 to 606. What's the 404? Is that like a bass sequencer like the 303 or like a drum
No,
kit like a
so
606?
oh sorry.
Do you have one right
There's
there?
a whole bunch of audio buzz. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a let me hold her up.
Oh,
It's
I have
a
seen that.
yeah, so many people use these.
I
They're
think I
fantastic.
think Melt Banana might use that. I've seen that
Yeah, Melt
on stage with
Banana,
them.
Panda Bear, Animal Collective, uh, Rat King, MF Doom, Madlib used like 303, 404. The SP line is just a very tried and true sampler. They're not accurate in how they calculate BPM or anything like that. Like they're not the most robust sequencers or anything, but they're really good for just playing something and live recording it back into itself. So like for just like unquantized or for capturing a sample and like immediately adding grit or effects and then bouncing that to another sample, it's really easy to do, really quick and fun.
That's cool. That's wild. I love like sampling stuff like that, especially like hardware sampling. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've never done it myself, but I do a lot of sampling digitally with my own music, and I've always wanted to get my hands on like one of the old like NPC units, or like
Yeah.
even like the machine stuff seems kind of cool, and you could even utilize that with like Tractor for DJing and stuff.
Machine is really fun. That's actually what I used to start beat making back in like 2011.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What was that, like the Mark One back then?
Yeah, the original. Shout out Micro for learning me how to use Machine there.
Yeah, I have some friends who work on Machine and like make some really really wild stuff with that. I've always wanted to get into it, but money is always a thing, especially with native instruments. They're so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even buying a used one.
Has anybody actually bought Contact or Tractor? I guess kind of shifting the topic a little bit. How do you feel about video games?
Oh, I love video games. I stream them a lot.
What have you been streaming?
I've done some speedruns over the years. I speedrun Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Aaron told me about this.
Yeah, big fan of the Goemon series. I also just love obscure games and like weird Japanese games. So I do a lot of just like first playthroughs and stuff like that. Just random crap I find.
Did you ever play?
Nope. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say, really into the Saturn, really into the Dreamcast too.
Oh, I actually have right here I believe this is a 8-bit dude Dreamcast controller. I use this specifically just to play Samurai Showdown on the Nintendo Switch. The Genesis controller. You said Dreamcast and Saturn. This is the Genesis, I think.
Close enough.
Maybe. I don't actually know. I never had one. We were a Nintendo fan, me and my brothers.
Oh yeah, growing up definitely.
Yeah, but this bad boy, whatever this is, it's either the Genesis or the Dreamcast, I believe. Most accurate D-pad, most comfortable D-pad. It's the perfect thing for fighting games. Back to Mystical Ninja Goemon. Aaron said you at one point were a world record speedrunner for that.
Yeah, in the 100% category, I kind of picked up the category after people just like left it, and my buddy Czar, shout out Czar, he and I went back and forth trading the record, and then another player, Claude, came and blew our times out of the water.
Ooh.
Just by finding a bunch of crazy optimizations that we never thought.
You always find stuff like that in speedruns. You know, you watch
right.
You watch GDQ every year, and you see like games that have been out for like 30 years. You know, the Ocarina of Time stuff. Have you like seen any of the Ocarina of Time speedruns with the thing where they like pick something up, go out of the load zone, and they're holding nothing above their head, and then they can just like turn and backflip into a different area?
Right. Still
fucking
reference
insane.
It's unreal. I mean, they found arbitrary code execution through that. They can just like write in a credits warp. It's really wild how it all works.
It's so crazy. I love stuff like that. So when did you, like, how long ago was this that you were doing the Goemon stuff?
I still dust it off from time to time, but I started in 2014, and then I didn't stream. I didn't stream until like 2016. Then I didn't stream again until like 2018. And it's just kind of been like a hobby, little side thing I do, you know, just whenever I have the time.
That's cool. Have you ever thought about like kind of trying to learn some of those like strategies, manipulations, and like stuff like that to like get back into it and like hop on like an AGDQ or something eventually?
Well, I did submit to GDQ. Actually, like a bunch of Goemon runners submitted to AGDQ 2020, but we did not get in.
Okay.
And you know, when stuff like that happens, it definitely is a blow to motivation. But
Yeah.
It's also like a sign that you just keep doing your own thing. You know, it's not a big deal.
It's a shame too, because this year's schedule, like, I watch every not every year, obviously they do it twice a year. Every time they do GDQ, I always tune in usually. But there wasn't too much that like really drew my attention. Granted, a lot of the stuff I was watching is like way before I wake up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been cool to see something like that on there. So like any like newer stuff you've been playing lately? Like anything? Like did you play a lot of games last year? Like everyone else who was locked in their house?
Yeah. Played a ton of Goemon actually. Czar and I were doing daily races, and that was it was really fun. But it was also a lot of, you know, I just started making mistakes I'd never done. But as of late, I've been playing a lot of Pilot Wings 64. Great game. Big mood right there.
Yeah. Did they was there ever like a Pilot Wings? No, I'm thinking of something else. Like a different like plane game that was in arcades.
Yeah, there were only 3: the NES or SNES, 64, and 3DS one.
Yeah, Pilot Wings is the one I was thinking of. There was some game I can't remember off the top of my head what it was called, but like they used to have a big cab in the hotel I used to stay at when my family would go on vacation to like nowhere in the middle of Pennsylvania. They had like that. They had like a broken crane machine and like a Tekken tag, I think.
I love random hotel arcades. I found
they're
a
great.
duo virtual on cab in like a hotel in frickin' nowhere in Wisconsin.
I have
It
never
was great.
seen a virtual on cab in person before, but this is my show. I can say fuck. I fucking love virtual on.
Virtual on is great.
Virtual on's so good. It's a shame that like, and it's not a shame because apparently it's great, but like it's a shame that the closest we've gotten to like a brand new virtual on is like they did like a collab with like an anime. I think it's like the certain certain magical index, I think it's called, and they made like a collab virtual on with that. It's like the newest one in like since like the PS2 era. It came out like a year or two ago.
Hey, at least there's a new title.
That's exactly it though. It plays the same basically. It's just got like anime characters yelling in the corner.
Yes.
So I guess with that being said, we're kind of coming up on our time here. Do you have anything you want to plug? Any your Twitch channel, your Twitter, anything you want to shout out? Anybody, anything like that? I guess now's the time.
Yeah. Check me out on Twitch. I'm also on SoundCloud, Twitter, NYERON _ or 2 underscores, just depending on the site. My Twitter or my Twitch is probably the best way to get in touch with me.
And that'll be on the right side of the screen right there.
Tell ye. Yeah, shout out venoSci, shout out Micro, shout out the Goemon boys, shout out everybody involved in Poolside, shout out G-Wiz. Really looking forward to this set unveiling.
Thanks. And then right before we go, why do you think you have what it takes to wear the Team Poolside Championship belt?
Because I'm green, man.
You heard it here first. Thank you for joining me, Nyeron.
Thanks for having me.
I'm going to throw it back to my friend Aaron in just a moment. Yes, Sirski!
future girlfriend. This is what I sound like.
watching Cocktail Hour, brought to you by Team Poolside. It's the road to members only this Saturday night. Premium free-to-view event right here, twitch.tv/teampoolside.de, or our own special website, twitch.tv. That's not our website. Our website is teampoolside.de. Cocktail Hour started early for some of us. Can you tell?
Yes, sir.
You're watching. You're live. I'm venoSci, hosting it. We got DJ K-pop Papi.
Yes,
who's gonna
sirski.
be talking to some of the artists we're gonna see this Saturday at Members Only, the premier DJ and VJ event for you this winter season. Turning up my mic. Is that better? Excellent. Sometimes it's hard to tell. Anyway, I'm your DJ for the night, venoSci. I'm gonna throw it over to DJ K-pop Papi. Up next, we're gonna be talking to another one of our VJs, Ashton Simeon, VJ DJ. We're gonna learn a lot about him. I'm gonna throw it over to my good friend and yours, DJ K-pop Papi. But first, let's get some yo's in the chat. Throwing it over to you.
Welcome back to Team Poolside Cocktail Hour, the very first Team Poolside Cocktail Hour. I am your host. You may know me as Tomo Aries. Some of you may also know me as DJ K-pop Papi, resident DJ of Team Poolside. Today, I am joined by one of our other many talented visual artists joining us at Team Poolside Members Only this Saturday, January 30th on twitch.tv/teampoolside.de and also on teampoolside.de. Who are you? Tell me about yourself, and what is your sign?
What is my sign?
Your sign.
I forget what. Am I a Virgo? Is that what signs are? I have no clue.
Virgo's a sign, yeah.
Oh.
Don't ask me if I know when it is.
Then I did remember. Okay. I had something in mind. Yeah. No. My name is Ashton Simeon. I help run a group called Eva, and I do a bunch of the event management and other stuff with that, as well as a VJ and DJ. I've been video editing for like the past 12 years and other stuff like that. I don't know. That's me, I guess.
So, tell me, I guess, a little bit about what you're bringing to Members Only this Saturday.
I am an Adobe user, unfortunately. I know that was kind of shamed in the past interview. But,
I do it too.
Yeah. My signature style is downloading tons and tons and tons of old commercials and adding that doing that as kind of like my thing. And what I will do is I will chop up those commercials, take the visually interesting parts, and try my best to fit them within the mix the best it makes sense, and try to make a weird pseudo visual story out of it. I can't really describe it. It's whatever.
That sounds really wild. Is there a particular era of television that you like to take your commercials from, or maybe even a corner of the world?
There was a time in my life where I had chicken pox, and I stayed awake for 3 nights straight watching Cartoon Network, and I remember 2004 kind of weird those weird ass Lunchable ads where they had the pizza treats and all that stuff.
Yeah, I remember
love
those.
That era of commercials. It's really hard to fit them in a mix, but I like tried to. That's like my favorite era for advertising before it like all got weird and went kind of stale color wise. But I love that. I love 90s ads just as much. I love pulling from 80s and sometimes 70s ads. It really depends on like whatever's being advertised. I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I love how random it is.
I love that era of commercials too. There was one like it might have been a couple years after. It had to have been. It couldn't have been after like 2006 though. There was like a Reese's Puff like gangsta rap commercial, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever as a kid. I love that era of stuff. That was like the Cartoon Network with the box logo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What did you just say? Sorry.
Changed the logo and they're like, oh no, I was literally just like, yeah, no. I don't know where I'm at anymore.
Well, let's bump it to the next question then. What first got you into doing visual stuff, like as far as like VJing and stuff? Like when did you get your start with that, and like what got you started with that?
I remember I began doing like visual stuff when I was like 12, when I was watching like Freddie Wong and Corridor Digital back in that time frame, like the Dubstep Guns video. Just
The old like
had
rocket
it out
jump.
for me, and yeah. Oh yeah. I learned how to do like muzzle flashes from guns in like Windows Movie Maker, and it's all been downhill from there.
Oh.
I began doing VJ work like right after I began doing DJing, because I love that aspect of any kind of work in that realm, essentially. Or I've been to too many shows where the visuals haven't been stellar, so that has driven me to like try and, I don't know, do what I think is cool, I guess. But let's see. I think the first time I VJ'd was like for my college. I bought this one program called Synesthesia, and it essentially it just like uses like audio reactive shaders, and you can like put footage underneath it, and you can just make them look wild and very acidy and euphoric. So
That's super cool. We were talking, me and Aaron, last night about I guess from sort of around like the late 2000s, kind of when Blockbuster was still a thing. Did you ever see or even have one of those like flip camcorder things?
no,
Do you remember
but I wanted
those?
one. Yes, that was always like right out of my range, but I bought something along the lines of like this. I don't have the exact same camera, but something that looks like this for like 200 at the time. But it yeah, I made like a bunch of like dumb little fight movies with my friends in like my backyard.
Believe me.
Gosh, those were the
Those were the days.
Yeah, no, I wish I got one of those, because like I'm sure I could find one now at like a Goodwill somewhere for like stupid cheap. I don't have a reason to own it. I just like the way it looks.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, isn't that the reason for... Okay, so you can only kind of see it back there. You can see where my finger is. There's like a little spike. That is a fucking guitar shaped like an X. I know all about buying stuff just because it looks cool.
Damn.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to VJing, do you use a lot of like effects or like techniques, anything like that? Do you have like a favorite technique or effect you use? Like, do you have a crutch? Like in terms of that, like something you just feel you do way too much of?
I'm always trying to explore like new like abstract or like weird looking things that are like, they're simple but they look abstract. Like what I like doing in Premiere is I will take some video footage of me just like waving my camera around, and then I will Gaussian blur horizontal that stuff and make it look like some visual that looks like it belongs to like a trance pad, and it works. And I love pointing a video camera at a CRT and just like using my shaky hands to just move it around, and just like layer it over top of each other. My crutch used to be blending modes, but I think that used to be everybody's crutch. And I guess now it's more I don't know what my crutch is per se. It really just I have no clue, honestly. I would have to think about that way too much.
I'm like wheelchaired on hard mix blend mode right now. That's like 90% of my set on Saturday is spoiler alert hard mix blend mode Adobe.
Oh, yeah, it works so well
It's
for like
cool.
hardcore tracks.
Yeah.
It's so cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't happy with the way I looked getting way too into the music, so I wanted to distort it a little bit. I'm not super crazy into doing visuals more on the music side of things, but I took some classes and when I was in high school learned Premiere. So I guess as far as like software goes, you said you're using Premiere though, right?
Yes. I use Premiere, After Effects, a bit of DaVinci Resolve. I mess around with what's that one program that's like industry standard?
I thought it was After Effects. Avid?
Resolume. There it is.
Oh, I actually haven't heard of that.
Oh, it's I got it because I know that that's what Ghost Dad uses for like the Anamanaguchi visuals, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect to own. It was like $100 like a couple weeks ago because of some sale, and I used my expired student ID to get a student discount, and that was nice. I'm sure I'll use it one day. I haven't gotten around to it yet, but there's some effects in there that are really cool that I want to use, but that's kind of my arsenal at the moment. And Blender too.
Yeah. What, doing like modeling stuff in Blender or?
I like going to like models resource and like picking out like different like maps and stuff from there, and just like having them spin or just having them like distort over time.
I love stuff
and
like
then,
that.
Layer that in with whatever. It's so much fun. I love it. That's my version of like depth core metal art, is just taking like Sonic Adventure 2 models and just like stretching them to hell and then coloring them a certain way.
That's like a really easy way to get into like specifically our generation's heart is like Sonic Adventure. Listen, Sonic Generations is great though. Like Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 1 visuals, like the Emerald Coast and like City Escape and all that. Like that's so near and dear to me. So Aaron told me that you're an organizer for EVA Online. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about that and just kind of what you do with that, and plug any way to find out more about it?
EVA is I guess the best way to describe it is like a Y2K neo-rave aesthetic group or community of people that I guess like we began as a bunch of like virtual self fans, and we're just kind of sort of like moving in like our own direction. And what we do is we have like a record label. We put on our own like AV events, kind of similar to Poolside, and we I don't know, we just try and be as welcoming and as friendly to whoever joins the community and help them grow. I think our like latest achievement is like getting more people to like learn how to do their own visuals, and people are helping like me learn how to produce. It's just a really helpful community, honestly. What I do is I run the event side of things, so the synesthesia events that we have monthly are like the best way to describe it would be like a TV channel or like a TV block where we have like a performer, and then we'll have like a 10-minute ad break where we just play like a bunch of retro commercials and like stuff promoting like other artist stuff, whatever anybody wants to like send my way via DMs, I'll like play it on air, that kind of thing. It's honestly, it's just a blast to be able to show everybody's work in that kind of format, because it's less of like a typical festival and more of like a show, kind of like how y'all do Poolside. I was blown away by the first Poolside when I got to see that. That was wonderful.
Appreciate that a lot. Do you guys have a like a Twitter account, a website, Twitch, anything you could let us know about to find that?
Yeah, our Twitter, I just want to make sure I get it right. It is EVA Online, but the online is spelled with a 0 because of people taking the original one. But yeah, EVA Online, that's what we are. I guess.
Right. So Aaron also told me that you're a bit of an anime fan.
Kinda.
Kinda?
I guess.
Aaron,
I'm
I'm
trying to-
coming for you for this one, man.
I mean, my favorite anime is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but that was like way like it's a while ago. Like I've watched that. I've watched ReZero. I've
Classic
watched,
at this point.
Yeah.
Anything lately?
Honestly, no.
I don't feel like
I haven't
anybody
been-
has.
Yeah, it's really hard to get into anything at the moment. I think my friend tried to get me into Dr. Stone recently, and that was pretty cool. I need to continue watching that, but so far, like, yeah, those are kind of what I do. I what the hell? That's kind of what I've watched.
Yeah, well, I guess to shift away from that, then you mentioned Virtual Self earlier. You how you feeling about the Nurture era?
I was a little iffy on it, like going into it. I like some of the songs, like I really like Mirror and Something Comforting. I'm like, but
Yeah.
like I love like most of it. I love the I think the biggest thing that brought me back into liking this stuff was the cover art that was released with Porter just face down in flowers.
Oh my
I thought that
God,
was hilarious,
that's such
so
a
I'm excited
vibe.
Honestly, it's fun.
Yeah.
I got to see that at the Oregon Ballroom, or that show in Chicago, and that was nice. God, that was one of those shows that like once it's over, you're just depressed for the rest of the week.
Oh my God, I wish I could have seen him live. Like a couple years ago when they did the Shelter tour, I had the choice of either going to, I think they did not Terminal 5, I think it's called the PlayStation Theater, or it used to be called the PlayStation Theater, up in Times Square in New York. So it was a choice between either going to see that or Deaf Heaven, like 10 minutes away from where I live in central New Jersey. So I went to Deaf Heaven instead.
Yeah.
Great show. I've seen Deaf Heaven twice since. I've never seen Porter Robinson live. And Madion too. Like, I super sincerely wish I could have gotten on that.
Yeah.
So I guess since it's cocktail hour, let's talk about this. If you had a cocktail named after you, what would be in it?
Shoot. It would definitely be like sour green apple.
Ooh.
That's my
Like Midori?
thing. It would be. Wait, what?
Like Midori? Wait, no, that's melon. I'm not a mixologist. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Midori's melon.
Hey, you're all good. There was this weird like green ghost drink from like Dave and Buster's. It like looked amazing, but it tasted like crap. I would probably do that, but like have like a bunch of any kind of like weird like sour apple sweetener, Sprite, anything green. I love the color green for some reason. I don't know why. And I would have like a small percentage of alcohol because I'm a lightweight, but that's also because I would only have to drink one to get drunk, and like I would rather not die after drinking it. So
That's honestly
drink of choice. I don't drink, so that's my...
That's fair. The older I get, the more I feel that way too. I literally, next to me, it's cocktail hour. I have in this bottle over here a non-alcoholic Dark and Stormy made with non-alcoholic rum. That's what I've been sipping on all night. Yeah, no, I mean, I like the taste. I hate the feeling, you know? That's just how I am with it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, college kind of knocked that out of me.
Oh my God, it's like you turn 21 and it's like, why is this fun?
Honestly.
So why do you think you have what it takes to wear the Team Poolside Championship belt?
Why do I think I have what it takes? Honestly, I don't know. I tried writing down my answer like 5 or 6 times and I couldn't come up with anything. I was gonna use the excuse of like, oh, I've been editing since such and such year when I did like video editing and like Windows Movie Maker, but honestly, I don't have a good answer.
I think modesty is your answer.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I deserve it because I do, I guess. I don't know.
We have a modest
Whoever
champion
wants me
coming
to
up maybe
have
then.
Yeah, I don't know. Originally, I was gonna say like, oh, because if you win, I will give you this Hey You Pikachu Walmart VHS. But I'm like, no, that was stupid. I'm just being honest. So.
Well, we're coming up on our time here, Ashton. I really appreciate you joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you've got visually on a Saturday at Members Only. Why don't you just let everybody know in the chat where they can find out more about you, where they can follow you, anybody you want to shout out, now's the time.
Yeah, my name is Ashton Simeon. That's my real name. Don't dox me. You can find me at anywhere that has my name. Anywhere, ASHTONSIMEON. Shout out to my friends Technic Void, Day 21, Mail 2, Key Archive, Kira 600, and Wayne Train and Rhythm. Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to your set on Saturday. Everybody else, stay tuned. We'll be right back. I'm going to pass it back to venoSci in just a minute. Guess who was muted?
I take back all I say to a terror. I already know what my addiction is. In your smile, I have seen my future. No one show my love for you. I just wanna eat breakfast together. Don't let me hide and need you. I wanna know where we stand. What do I need to make you step by my side? Hey, what do you think about me? That is why I just decide fell in love with you. You are my, you just so fine, yeah. Don't give up on my love, my one is this feeling. Hey, what do you think about me? That is why I just decide fell in love with you. My one is this feeling. My one is this feeling. I take back all the say the word harbor. I never get your buried out my head. You'll be fine as long as you have it. Wherever you are, I'll be there, yeah. I just wanna eat breakfast together. Don't let me hide and need you. I wanna know where we stand. What do I need to make you step by my side? Hey, what do you think about me? That is why I just decide fell in love with you. You are my, you just so fine, yeah.
Welcome back to the very first. There we go. Welcome back to the very first Team Poolside Cocktail Hour. I am your host. You may know me as Tomo Aries. You may also know me as Poolside Resident DJ, DJ K-pop Papi. Today I'm joined with one of the many talented artists who is going to be joining us on this Saturday, January 30th at Team Poolside members only. Who are you? Tell me a little about yourself and what is your sign?
Hi, I'm Hojo. I'm a DJ and promoter out here in Taipei, Taiwan. And my sign is, I'm on the cusp. I'm Aries Taurus cusp.
All right.
So, some days.
I don't actually know. I'm an Aries. I don't know where that starts. It's got to be like late March, right?
I'm 420. My birthday's 420. So.
Oh, okay. That's the after Aries. Okay, I got you.
After, yeah.
Shout out to April 20th. So tell me a little about yourself and what you're gonna be bringing to Team Poolside this weekend on January 30th.
So like Vino said, I DJ on Gator Fruits a lot and just around town and other internet things. And what I'm gonna bring to Team Poolside is some high BPM breaks and footworky kind of action.
Yes, sir. That's what we like to hear. So, I guess tell me a little bit about like your upbringing from like an artistic standpoint. When did you first like get into DJing?
Sure. I've been DJing for about 10 years now. Before that, I was in bands and stuff. Nothing big, just shit like.
What'd you play?
Bands and I play guitar mostly, and but I can play drums and piano a little bit as well.
Heck yeah.
So DJ in 2010, started throwing parties around 2012, and was throwing a lot of Seattle parties, and those did pretty well, and that was a lot of fun, and met a lot of cool people through that. And then, now I'm out here in Taipei, kind of continuing that, and helping with the scene, and helping people travel to Asia and do tours, and helping Asian musicians get over to America and do tours, when there's no horrible pandemic stopping basically the entirety of that. So.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So I guess you said you played in bands and you also DJ. I guess as far as both go, let's take one at a time. What got you into like playing in bands? You said you were like a cover band. Like what kind of stuff were you playing as well?
Oh, I mean, like I've always really liked music from like way back in the day. And so always try to keep up with a little bit of that. What got me into bands, I guess, had friends who like wanted I don't know exactly how that started. Just you just play, you like stuff, and you go see some small DIY shows, and they like, hey, you're cool, let's try to do something together, and you do a couple practices and it sounds okay.
Yeah, I know all about that. I come from a DIY band scene too.
Right. I think the main ones I played in a cover band we called Pure Moods. We covered a lot of like electropop, and then I played in like a band with a couple like Japanese and Chinese exchange students. We just played a lot of like J-rock. We were like a Maximum the Hormone cover band.
Oh, that was Buiki Kaisei was like one of the albums that like did it for me. Like, God, that was probably like 16 years ago. That record.
Yeah,
like,
man, Maximum the Hormone. And then like fucking they asked me to join because they really liked my scream.
Oh, you got the? Are you doing like Fry, Power Fry? What do you got for a scream?
Power Fry part.
Power Fry.
Playing. Yeah, there's like 2 guitarists, 1 bassist, 1 drummer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I've always wanted to get my scream like on the level of like a song like Zetspo Billy or something like that. Like that was such an early cornerstone in my love for like screaming in music. But I guess then onto like DJing. Was there like anything like that got you really interested in DJing?
Just spending a lot of time on the internet and like learning a lot about like electronic music. Definitely like bands like back like in the day, like Radiohead and like stuff on Warp was like a big transition into
Kid A.
electronic music for me. And then actively DJing was more like I was getting really into like a lot of J-pop and a lot of like net label stuff like back in like 2008, 2009, 2010. And I had some friends who wanted to do like K-pop, J-pop parties, so we started a K-pop, J-pop party in Seattle, and it's still going, technically. But yeah, that was fun. It was just like, hey, you like Perfume and Girls' Generation? I do too. Let's throw a party. Can you DJ? Like, kind of like, okay, let's figure that out.
Yeah, that's really it. I mean, so I guess on that sort of topic there too. What are some of your favorites in like the J-pop, K-pop realm? I guess for each, what are you super into from both sides of it?
I mean, back in the day, it was like Perfume or nothing, right?
I'm still Perfume or nothing. That's like I would do anything for Perfume.
For sure. I've seen them like a couple times now, and it's just been amazing every time.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Newer stuff, I'd say like Kelmiko's really good.
They're
Kelmiko's
great.
really good.
Yeah.
I got a really long time friend who's just a permanent Negiko stan, and that's like totally makes sense to me.
Oh my god, I haven't heard about Negiko in so long. Yeah, I think one of them got married last year.
Yeah, but they're still going. They're just like, fuck it, we're still Negiko.
Yeah, they're great. I mean,
I respect.
The idol game is changing, and I think Perfume had a good hand in that, even though they're not necessarily idols. I mean, you have like obviously Negiko's like they're pushing like 30 as well now, and you know they're getting married. Dempagumi, I think one of them that's still in the group just got married. Like the idol thing's changing as far as J-pop goes.
Yeah, it is, I think there's like a maturity about like as far as like how an idol or how an idol management handles their fans. And like I feel like Negiko fans are pretty normal.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
And thus it's okay for like them to be married and 30 and still be Negiko, and their fans are still like, that's cool, like whatever. No one's like frothing because they're getting married.
Yeah, that's something I really hope to see as a bigger shift in the in that whole sphere, you know, and it's good to see that type of thing start to happen, you know.
100%.
What about K-pop? You were mentioning K-pop. Were you like Girls' Generation?
I mean, I think I've been like first time I was listening to K-pop was back in like college with like my Korean friends, so that was like HOT and like Shinhwa and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm still a huge BoA fan. I think BoA is like kind of the perfect idol. Perfect. She's just like, you know, that Utada level.
Yeah, kind of like the Seiko Matsuda, Utada Hikaru of Korea.
Yeah.
I think there was like a really good like BoA tribute album that came out last year. They had like Bull 4 on there and stuff. It was pretty solid.
Yeah. That was some cool tracks on that. But like even listening to that, I was like, these are great, but like BoA
you can't touch it.
It's just better.
Yeah, you really can't touch it.
And then like recently, I think I always like talk about, because you know there's like stan culture and stuff like now in K-pop, and I'm not really like trying to do. I'm like, I guess what they would call a multi.
Yeah.
You know, like some traitorous multi, but it's more just like I don't really just swallow anything they'll give me. You know.
That's exactly it.
But there's like groups that are more consistent, especially for my taste, and I think like Oh My Girl is kind of like exactly what I want from this like kind of world.
They're so good.
Like, more or less.
Yeah.
Like, every time they put out something, there's something I like about it and something interesting about it, and so I'm just like, they're pretty much consistently delivering on for me.
Yeah, I like Oh My Girl a lot, though. I actually haven't. I don't know if they've come back recently. Obviously, the pandemic did a lot last year, but I remember when 5th season came out in like 2019. I remember really being into that.
Yeah, the one they did last year called Nonstop was pretty good. Like the main track was kind of like a soca thing, but there's a B-side called like Dolphin that like is still like charting because it's so viral.
Wow.
Yeah, really great.
That's what I look for. That's the type of thing I look for in K-pop. Like I really enjoy like B-sides and stuff like that. I mean, I go by DJ K-pop Papi. I'm so far removed from like stan culture and stuff. Like I'm the worst K-pop fan there possibly could be. So like I just love everything like that.
I'm about digging for those B-sides. So like the nightcore stuff I do is mostly K-pop nightcore.
That's awesome.
And I usually, what I've been doing like every 6 months basically is putting out a mix, and what I do is I kind of just only use tracks from the last 6 months. So I have 3 up on SoundCloud. I'm trying to like re-upload all the older ones to Mixcloud and stuff. But yeah, just like, you know, some main singles, but a lot of like B-sides, a lot of new groups, a lot of like small groups kind of things, just interesting things. I don't think every track is better sped up, but I think a lot of them are. So,
I feel that. No, there was when CL did her her solo debut a couple years ago. She I think the song was called Lifted. That song is great. It sounds so much better when you bump the BPM about 40 higher.
Exactly. There's so much like that, and that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, a lot of these are like, because the producers who make this stuff, they're coming from like a lot of people, especially now, are coming from like UK backgrounds, so a lot of like garage type sounds and drum and bass type sounds, but they slow them down for like pop markets.
Yeah.
But then you're like, this is just a drum and bass song slowed down, so I'm gonna speed it back up and make it make sense to me again.
That's a big thing right now too. I mean, when you look back, I mean, it's less recent now, but when you look at like Red Velvet, Bad Boy, that single I think was produced by the same two people that just did the entire executive production of the Bruno Mars album that won the Grammy a couple years ago. So like, it's K-pop is so global, and I really hope in a way that the American music market, or more the Western music market, can become more global eventually, because I don't know, I just feel like the Grammys are so bullshit until it becomes something more along the lines of like the Olympics. I want to see everything.
Right. I mean, yeah, they're not really, their scope is very limited as far as like awards stuff. I think the industry is pretty global at this point. I mean, as far as like certain aspects of it, like I think like last year, K-pop wise, they were really copying like The Weeknd.
Oh my God.
Kind of era stuff. Like it's all like electro right now.
That whole Twice album was just The Weeknd.
The Twice album, even the Blackpink album, even like Everglow, like electro after electro after electro after electro, just like pure like 80s kind of like Carly Rae Jepsen like emotion type electro pop kind of stuff. And I mean, it's obvious. And there's like a track that just came out by Cherry Bullet.
Yeah, they just came back for the first time in a while, I think.
And that track is basically like the one that ducks out after the chorus and does like the quiet thing. That's like totally like Billie Eilish kind of stuff.
I gotta listen to that later.
You can see like the trends, like, oh, okay, this is where they got that from. Oh, this is where they got that from. It's kind of like, they were doing like the whole cowboy thing in the middle of last year too, and that was like totally a Nas, Old Town Road, Lil Nas X, like Old Town Road, like kind of thing. Like it's fun. It's fun to see the feedback loops that are happening and going back and forth. So
Yeah, Cherry Bullet are great. They're some of the most promising rookies in the game right now. I guess shifting away a little bit, what are you DJing on? Are you on like Serato, Tractor, Ableton? What are you on?
I mean, when I DJ, normally it's usually like CDJs and stuff. I have a set of XDJs at home and like a little rain mixer. When I'm making mixes, like actual like record mixes, like half the time I probably record straight from the decks, and then half the time I use this fucking program called like Mixmeister. That's like totally defunct, and it's like from Newmark, and has a proprietary controller that's a piece of shit, and it's like in my closet. And it's so broken because I've actually used it to play live a lot back in the day. But it's actually pretty okay for like organizing and making mixes, and actually making nightcore too. Like so, Mixmeister Fusion. It's totally depreciated, but you can pirate that thing like crazy.
Like the shovelware kind of thing. Yeah,
I'm waiting for a Windows version just to like completely knock it, to completely kill it compatibility wise. I'm just like holding my breath for that day. But
oh my God.
Until then, I'll use it for some stuff.
That's great. So I guess since it's cocktail hour, let's talk about this. Do you drink?
Yeah, I drink. I drink.
So if you had a cocktail named after you, what would it be?
If I had a cocktail named after me?
Yeah, what would be in it? What would it be?
What would be in it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's Hojo, right? So Hojo, my name is probably like it's a Final Fantasy VII. It's funny because, okay, there's a bar in Taipei, a club in Taipei called Final.
Mm-hmm. And
Final is a direct reference to Final Fantasy.
Okay.
So they have a drink on that menu called Zero Angel. And that's pretty similar to like what it is, but maybe it's too like smooth. So since it's Hojo, it's got to be a little weird, right? It's got to be a little like maybe chunky. I don't know. That sounds weird. That sounds too weird, but I don't know. Something Hojo would probably have to make something really screwed up, right? So probably like grapes, maybe pulped grape.
Like the mortar pestle.
and then like Calpis, and then like Mezcal.
Okay, no, that's hold up. That actually you're onto something with that.
Yeah, like grape, like pure, not like grape Calpis, but Calpis plus like mushed up pulped grapes. So it's like kind of like
an old fashioned.
And then like some really incongruous liquor to go into that. I think
that sounds perfect. Yeah. So, what do you think, or why do you? I keep saying what every time I ask this fucking. But why do you think you have what it takes to wear the team poolside championship belt?
Man, I'm. Let's see. I like whatever BPM you need. I can go even harder and faster. We can just break some speed limits here.
That's what we like to hear. So, we might have a potential 300 BPM champion on our hands this Saturday.
Yeah, let's do it.
So, we're kind of coming up on our time here. I guess if you have anyone you want to shout out, if you want to let everybody know where they can find you, we have your @ on screen. I keep pointing that way. It's like there. Your @ is going to be on screen. Let everybody know.
So yeah, you can find me on Insta, SoundCloud, Mixcloud. Mixcloud has like a lot of my older mixes. SoundCloud has some tracks and some newer mixes. All with the same @ as my Twitter. Shout outs to Data Fruits crew. Shout outs to City Hunter crew. Shout outs to the Seattle homies and the Taipei crew. Dajiao hao, yo. And yeah, if you're in Taipei or in at all and you're interested, I DJ every Thursday pretty much at the spot called 23 Music Room, and you can follow on Insta and I'll have my shows there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. We're really looking forward to your set on Saturday at Team Poolside members only.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by Cocktail Hour. I'm going to pass it back to my friend venoSci in just a moment. Thanks for tuning in to everybody. We're going to play it out for a little while. Thanks for sticking around. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST. venoSci, it's on you.
Let's make some noise one more time in the chat for DJ K-Pop Papi, your host.
Yes, sir.
Let's also make some noise for everyone we heard from tonight, Nyeron, Ashton Simeon, and Hojo. And you can catch all three of them and more this Saturday night. Members only, teampoolside.de. See who's going to be walking home with the Team Poolside VIP Championship VJ and DJ belt. See what kind of special surprises we got in store. And of course, a night of great music, great visuals, and just an all-around fun time. And it's free. And you don't have to leave your house. I'm going to play tracks for a couple, 10 minutes maybe, and then I'll see you again tomorrow night. And see you tomorrow night. Yo's in the chat for everyone. This is the road to members only. Team Poolside. #1 up-and-coming DJ promotion in the world.
In the heat of the moment, I thought that I could kiss myself.
wraps up our evening together. I hope you have enjoyed it. I have been your DJ venoSci, your host, of course, DJ K-Pop Papi, aka Tomo Aries. There they are.
Oh, wait a minute. My mug is muted.
Let's
Hey.
get some yo's in the chat. Give me your best yo right now.
Yo! Let me hear yours.
Okay, here's mine.
Oh, that was... It was okay.
Good.
It was,
That's pretty good.
It was mid. It was a mid-pack.
The mid-pack be hidden sometimes.
It'd be hitting sometimes.
Any last parting words as we sign off on this first stop on our road to members only this Saturday, January 30th?
Yeah.
Teampoolside.de.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST. Yes.
That sounds correct to me.
That sounds right. I don't know. My hair looks
flyer
great today, and my headphones are ruining it. Like,
Where can they find you and us?
You can find me right here at K_pop_Papi on Twitter. And Aaron, if you use your left hand, your @ will be right there. Yeah, right there. Yours is right there too.
Awesome.
Yes,
Right-
sirski.
Wait,
Right there.
Right here?
Right there, sir. Yeah, and mine's right here.
Cool.
Press the button. Thank you.
I was waiting for it to go off. I was waiting for it to go off screen so you could. Oh, you got the button down there, right? Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you to Nyeron, Ashton Simeon, and Hojo. If we don't have anything on Friday, so if you are looking for one more stop on your road to members only, this Friday, I believe there's an EVA Online event. So you can tune into that, hosted by Ashton Simeon, Kira 600. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
But the next stop is tomorrow.
Next stop is tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST, 8 CST, 6 PST.
We're going to be speaking to the champion, Snese, current Team Poolside VIP DJ belt holder. We're going to be talking to June, right?
I believe it's Ginny. Gianni.
Ginny?
Yeah, it's like Gianni, I believe.
She can roast us about that plenty tomorrow. And
We're also going to be talking to each other more.
We're also going to be talking to each other more.
Hey,
We're going to be talking
can we
about...
get like a little high five going right here? Oh,
right, like
a little,
that.
little further. Yeah, there we go. That's... We nailed it.
Pretty good. Hang on, do it one more time.
Can someone screenshot
All right. Final words, and then we'll cut this. We'll show the flyer, and then cut the stream.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will see you tomorrow night, and we will also see you on Saturday. Stay wet.
On the road to members only.
Stay wet. Good night.